Hello and welcome to the show. It is time for another automation car building challenge. Yes, the autocross circuit was very good fun. However, I've been pondering this for quite some time. We're going to do something very different and tackle a rally stage, especially selected a rally stage here at the Italian map. Now, your competition, what you're going to be building the cars to compete against, I've not gone and built a car for this one. No, you're going to try and beat a sunburst rally car, a specific Beam vehicle designed for some off-roading. And we're going to quick run through the stage itself. As I said, I kind of flew around the map a fair bit and picked this road as my challenge stage. It has been built as a scenario so that everything can be timed. I mean, for this, of course, it's skewed entirely because we're prattling around. There are some nasty bits to have to deal with. We've got some nasty hairpins. There are also, you know, these sort of acceleration zones. You're going to want a decent amount of power. You're going to want a decent amount of grip as well. You're going to want some good brakes also because, well, I don't even know what kind of surface this is. It's not full-on dirt. It's certainly not got any of the thick mud to have to cut through, but it is less grippy. It's not tarmac. It's almost like dust-covered concrete down here. It's not bumpy as such, but it is very slippy. We've got a couple of big hairpins. This is the first of them. Don't cut the inside of these, or I'm going to have to not cut the inside of these too much, because you can roll the car. Done a few practice runs with the vehicles, if you like, and yeah, I have rolled a number of times on those. We've got a very nasty chicane here. It's kind of a blind entrance to this. Again, it'll be another place testing the brakes of the vehicles and testing the grip as well. I get a little bit more speed up here. There's a couple of these very long corners as well. This is kind of like a never-ending left-hander that we go through. Don't clip the rocks on the outside. That'll be another place where we will inevitably see some cars losing wheels. A hairpin is coming up here, and then it is just the run to the finish. A little bit more, I say a little bit more acceleration zones for us to contend with. Now this is quite a nasty. It can be taken flat in quite a few vehicles through there, but if you get it wrong, you'll be going quite quickly for a very big crash, and that is the finish line. And if we want to go for spectacular stunts, we can crash it off of a wall. So that is the rally stage. And that is a rally stage that the cars are going to be going through. And as ever, I say as ever with these series, it's a fairly short stage because each vehicle is going to get 3 attempts through it. The fastest time will be the one that will count. That actually throws up a few interesting things for, well, car building, if you like, because I'm going to get 3 attempts to drive a car down what is a pretty narrow rally stage. Mistakes can be very easy to make down there. Make sure your car is easy to drive. It's all very well having a 900 horsepower monster, but if it's incredibly near impossible to drive down that stage, you won't get as much out of it as something that's considerably more sensible. Now, what we're going to do here, before we go for through the rules and so on for the cars, I guess I'm going to have to try and set a benchmark. We're going to have to try and set the benchmark. Now, this is going to be the time that your cars are going to have to try and beat. That was a little bit sketchy on these. Yeah, there's the anti-corner cutting on the hairpins is if you cut the corner, you're going to fall over. Here, if you cut the corner, you're going to clonk into a rock, and that will be a very broken sunburst. This is another one of the never-ending corners. It kind of widens and tightens. It takes a while getting used to driving around here. This is a nasty braking zone, kind of a big downhill braking zone to try and get right. Oh, might have stalled it out slightly through there, but we got out the other side. Well, just about okay. Oh, you want to be fast through there at that part, and then make sure you've really got it slowed down for the transition. Don't clip the bushes too much. I don't think any of the bushes are solid. However, it's always a little sketchy. We got 3 runs. I mean, the first run here is probably going to be a little bit of a banker run in many ways. I don't know if the signs, some of the signs aren't, it's just kind of a visual thing, aren't actually crash-intoable. That is definitely a technical term, but I'm not sure if all of them are drive-throughable. That's also another technical, important FailRace terms for you to learn here. We can dip a wheel on the grass, that's fine. It's fairly solid. Okay, it's a solid first run. Ooh, it's a bumpy little escape, well, I say escape road, finish line road down there. Okay, 17-0 as a first run. Pretty decent. pretty decent first run. We can probably be a little bit braver on the second run, knowing that we have at least got a half-decent time in the bank. I have done some practice runs down here to try and familiarise myself. As ever with these kind of circuits, the more I run through them, the better I'm going to get. We're going to run through this a lot by the end of the series, so I will be faster later on, but I have done a fair few practice runs to try and give us a fairer shot for, certainly for the sunburst and for the early vehicles here. This, just how brave, it is a real test of bravery through that corner. It's how close to full throttle dare you be for as long as possible around there. Oh, no, that's not where I wanted to be particularly. Did I break the rear of the car? Because this is the other thing you've got to bear in mind with Beam. On Dirt Rally, there are a few circuits, Argentina in particular, where at some of the low-speed corners, you can actually get away with clipping a wall here and there. You can bounce off the rocks and it won't kill the car, like that, for example. On Beam, you clip a rock and you can bend a wheel. That was actually a very light brush, and I think I have survived that without any damage, amazingly. Oh, we're again playing that one very risky. Oh, I thought we were still in a good place for third gear, and it was just... By the time I went down from third, it was then too late to have got... We should have gone down from third earlier in all of that. It's been a slightly scruffy run through there. We're going to try and be brave. Oh, it's really risky with all of the ditches and so on. Yeah, not as good of a run. Not as good of a run for the second time there. We've torn off another wheel, 18.6. That means the pressure is on. That means the pressure is on for this final run through the course. Here we go, Sunburst. Let's not get anything wrong. Let's not play it risky with the walls. That is always the danger. There's a lot of these. You won't cut the course because if you do, you roll sections, which I like. You know, that's how you stop any corner cutting. Have it so you have an incredibly big crash if you give it a try. I mean, most of the places on here are it's just solid rock face, solid cliffside. On the insides of corners, so you're not going to see too much of that. Oh, okay, that's actually worked out not too bad. Second gear doesn't quite work. Maybe buzzing the limiter in first would have been the one to go for through there. Earlier on the brakes for this little change of direction. That's more like it. Don't play with that rock on the outside again, you muppet. We've got away with that a few times. I was going to say with Beam, unlike sort of Dirt Rally where you can ping off the walls, you'll tend to snap stuff in this game, of course. Damage is, I say, the primary purpose of Beam. It is the main difference it has to almost every other driving game, is the way little hits like that. And I'm not sure if my rear wheel is in perfect, happy order now, and you know, you'll snap bits and pieces over time. This is going to be a mega run, though. Doesn't matter that we clip the wall. 15, oh, it's a good double roll. Land it, land it, land it, land it, land it. Out of slow-mo. Hey! Now that is how you finish. We finished with quite the flurry right there. 15.2 is going to be the target time for vehicles to try and beat, and the double barrel roll after the finish line. Oh, the air filter, air box, everything's come out of the engine. That's a lot of bits of engine that have fallen out of the sunburst there. Well, bits of engine, important bits of car. Great roll though. And again, if I've been most rally games, you'll do that, you'll land it, and you'd get away and just carry on. This car would be very dead, and it is very dead. The engine's gone. So that is our target time, a 15.29 for your vehicles to try and beat. Pretty damn good run. We clipped a rock ever so slightly. However, I don't think it actually cost us really any time in that whatsoever. So there we go. That is the benchmark time, the target time to try and be beating. So, what are the rules, of course, for your guys' build? Well, there is just one. There is just one rule for this. The vehicle must cost less than $15,000 to make. Now, there are two different material cost tabs, essentially, that go on when you build a car on automation. And we are talking about, I guess, the production cost. The production cost when the profit margin is set at 0, so I guess that is the cost of making it, has to be less than $15,000. Now, or whatever the currency is, I think it's dollars, whatever it is, on automation. Now, that gives you a lot of freedom, but it also makes it quite tough. Because, yes, you can go for an inline 4, you can go for a turbocharged V6, you can go for a V12 if you want, but you're going to have to keep that cost down. You're going to have to try and keep the cost down. And you've got to bear in mind, of course, that you're building the cars for rallying here. you're building the cars for this weird dusty surface, whatever it may be, that is what you're going to have to be driving on. Now, there will be... Well, you can build front-wheel drives and rear-wheel drives as well to compete with the all-wheel drives. Of course, all-wheel drive is going to be... The very fastest cars will be all-wheel drive. However, you are more than welcome to enter cars in different drive lines, and while they will go on the same leaderboard, much like we did with the autocross section, it will be denoted as to whether they were all-wheel drive or whichever drive line they are using, so that you know, we can see. And, you know, if you want to try and build a rear-wheel drive car that can fight, you know, go high up the leaderboard against the all-wheel drives, always interesting to see. I think last time for the two-wheel drive category was won by a front-wheel drive, so yeah, go for it if you want to be brave. There is no rules regarding assists, however, I will, regarding assists, I will be turning off. If a car is built with the ESC stuff, I will turn it off. The primary reason being Beam can sometimes be a little bit funny with likes of traction control on dirt, not giving power properly, so I'm just going to turn it all off. I would possibly recommend not having ABS. If you want to put it on the cars, go for it. However, the braking on the dirt can be a little funky. The braking on the dirt can be a little bit funky. On the tarmac, it's fine. But on the dirt, you probably don't want ABS, from my experience anyway, but it is up to you. Of course, you know, you're going to be doing different things. We're going to see different sorts of brakes. You could spend much more of your budget on brakes and suspension than engine, or vice versa. Bearing in mind that it is a mostly very technical stage, you are probably going to want to focus on handling. However, if you think you can get speed out of an engine and save money elsewhere, yeah, you're gonna have to save money. You can't quality slider spam this one out, because that will raise your money incredibly quickly. If anything, you might be reducing that to try and save some money, cut some corners essentially. So yeah, that is the one rule. That is the one rule. The price has to be less than 15,000. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we're going to get. I'm really looking forward to see what we're going to get competing. I mean, I don't know how much this vehicle would be in automation money, basically, but it gives you a lot of freedom while also being quite restrictive. It gives you a lot of freedom for different approaches, for different engines, different body styles. You can go for whatever body style you want. However, I am going to say you cannot use any modded parts. It has to be from the base game. It just makes it easier for everybody, so no lawnmowers, etc. You can't use the modded body styles. They've got to be from the basic automation game. That still gives you plenty of you know, options to play around with. The same with fixtures and so on. It's if I need to go and sort the cars out, it's also, I think, less likely to break stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna say go with the standard bits and pieces. Makes everyone's life easier. Yeah, you can go for a massive SUV if you want. I probably wouldn't recommend it. However, if you want to try and make that work, go for it. You want to go for big engines, tiny engines, that's fine. But the price has got to be less than 15,000. I very much look forward to seeing what you guys come up with in this. Now, you will have a week to build your vehicles. Now, to enter the car, you have to go to our forums. There'll be a link in the description of this video. You have to go to our forums. Under the official events section will be the automation car challenge. Now, the entrance for this are not going to be done first come, first serve. It will be lucky dip, random draw, depending on how many entrants we get. Last time we had 500, way more than I expected, and I sadly couldn't get around to all of them. However, yeah, for this one, you will have a week to enter your cars. The entrance will close next Monday, and I will be randomly drawing them. So you don't have to enter the car immediately. Spend some time building a car, perfecting the vehicle as and how you want to build it. Don't worry about submitting it late, because everyone will have a fair shot. We'll try and get through as many as possible. We'll see how many entrants we get in this particular competition. There will be more information in the forum post about the sort of the fine details of submitting the cars, etc. Yeah. Good luck with the building. At some point, I might have a go with the car and see what I can manage to do with them. As I said, there's a lot of freedom, a lot of hopefully plenty of creativity, a lot of interesting designs will inevitably come out of this. Who knows what will be able to take victory? Best of luck to all of you with the car building. That though will be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time. a goodbye.